Welcome back to the top four. We've had, 300 people enter, only one person will leave?
More than 300. Lots of people.
So, our top four. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Check. Wait a minute. I don't hear myself.
We're experiencing some minor technical difficulties.
Hello? Oh, hey. Somebody
You're
turned the
back.
mic off. I might have done that. So, we are back and actually now operational.
You were sabotaged by a small child. Actually, literally, there was a...
Oh.
Ian's kid Sylvia was back here.
Ah, okay.
And, she turned your mic off. Mystery solved.
So, our top four have been selected. We've got non-Torps. He moved on.
Yep, those
Jerry,
plaid
of course,
shorts going strong.
We just saw Jerry win, so Jerry and Non will be facing off on the other table.
Rebel on Rebel.
Over here, we've got Scum on Scum. Justin Phua of Singapore took a long trip here to his first ever Worlds. He's about a year into his X-Wing playing experience.
I think he's the furthest traveling player that we have this year.
Nice. What, even over the Australians? I don't know.
I don't know.
Either way,
on
we've
which
had
way
a lot of guys
you
and gals come in from all over the world, and it's awesome to see that. And then we've got Nick Belle out of Maryland, who flew much less distance to play. So let's talk about lists. Justin, he is running just Dengar and Tel Trevura. So both of these JumpMasters rocking extra munitions. Both of them have plasma torpedoes and guidance chips. Both of them have K4 security droids and unhinged Astromechs. We've got expertise on Dengar. We've got punishing one on Dengar, and we've also got veteran instincts on Tel. So that is one heck of an alpha strike.
Yeah, no doubt. That's an interesting build. I think the change to Manaru kind of put a damper on the previous double JumpMaster list, which was, of course, Dengar and Manaru.
Yes.
But, Tel is a worthy replacement. We're seeing a pair of PS9s and an aggressive, relatively aggressive, at least in this meta, initiative bid, 98 points.
Yes, and that's going to matter a lot.
It is.
Because
clocking in at 99 points, Nick is rocking Fenn with Mindlink, Autothrusters, and Concord Dawn, the classic. Asajj Ventress with Latts and Mindlink, and I've seen that times.
Yep.
And Palob Godalhi with Twin Laser Turret and Mindlink. So that initiative bid is going to be crucial because both of those PS9s are going to be able to move after the entirety of Nick's squad.
Yes.
I suspect that will be...
Set up the double attack with Dengar or, just plain arc dodge. It gives him a lot of options. And he'll be able to get those target locks and just nuke something.
It's going to be a rough game for Fenn Rau, I think. And that may be a precedent. These last three games, we've seen Fenn have a rough time of it. When you're the top dog in the meta, people are going to tech against you.
Absolutely. So we've got Nick here on the left side. He's got his 3 ships and then just 2 JumpMasters piloted by Justin Phua of Singapore on the left. Sorry, I have my left and right mixed up. You can just swap those and we'll be set.
Yeah, we got a scattering of rocks kind of all over the table.
I think the big thing is Nick needs to avoid an alpha strike just wiping something like Asajj or even Palob off the board.
Yeah, he can't really afford to lose any of his ships to that double torpedo.
Palob's going to have a heck of a time, avoiding that because the Hawk is just not very fast. Does not have, any good post-maneuver positioning. It's just a slow dial, relatively sedate, and he wants to set those torpedoes up. He probably can.
Yeah, he's not got a cloaking device, so he doesn't really have any repositional power. He's just rocking the twin laser turret and the Mindlink, so pretty straightforward Palob. Now, I will say there is no Mindlink in the
double JumpMaster
list, which means Palob is going to be much more useful than he normally is. However, Dengar has an easy workaround. Dengar is sporting expertise. So he does not even need focus tokens.
So let's talk expertise. What does it do? It's 4 points. It is very expensive for an EPT. It must have some pretty significant effect.
Well, expertise is basically just like having a focus token when you attack, every time you attack. And of course, with Dengar's double tap ability, that's going to really pay off twice in one round. So you don't want to shoot Dengar if he's facing you. You extra don't want to shoot Dengar if he's facing you and he has expertise equipped.
Indeed.
It's effectively a slightly more deluxe version of Predator.
Yep.
And what it does is it also combines with rerolls in a way that Predator is not. So you can fire off your torpedoes with that target lock and still convert all of your focuses. He's also got guidance chips.
Yep.
So those torpedoes are going to be hitting very hard indeed. I think you've got a lot of really painful gun on this side of the table. And I believe that is Nick undefeated? Is he currently 9-0?
Yeah, so let's talk real quick. Nick went 9-0 in Swiss, which means he is now 11-0, if my math is correct. Yeah. He's gone 11-0 through this tournament, has not lost a game yet. So that is something to celebrate regardless of the outcome here, but he's running into something that I think he's going to have a hard time against.
Yeah, this is, this is going to be a really tough game because you've got 2 pilot skill 9 ships with decent repositional capability and one heck of an alpha strike. So if Nick can overcome this hurdle, I think that's going to be a testament to both his list and his caliber as a player because he is under the gun a little bit in terms of the pilot skill initiative bid wars.
And I wonder here, I mean, Palob was off on the left there by himself, closer to those 2 JumpMasters than I think he really wants to be right now because the Hawk's going to have a hard time running away fast enough to not eat some torpedoes.
That's an interesting situation. I wonder if there's an element of baiting going on here. If he's trying to present a juicy target in order to lure these JumpMasters in. Do they take the bait? Is it bait? Is it a mistake? It's so hard to tell at this level of competition because these players are so good.
As dangerous as Dengar on the board.
Yep. Now, the other nice thing about having a TLT on the board, a twin laser turret, is that you can get shots at Dengar that are not necessarily going to be reprisal shots. If you can manage to somehow stay out of Dengar's arc, you can chip some damage through without getting that bonus attack. Now, this list has a lot of firepower, but not an infinite amount of firepower. Once those torpedoes are gone, once the Alpha Strike is over, it cools down a lot. It's only a 2-ship list. Tel Trevura is only rolling a 2 attack dice turret. It is not got the staying power that Nick's list has. Fewer hit points, fewer attack dice. So he's going to really rely on that initial salvo. He's going to try to take a ship off the board. And if he can't, he might be in some trouble.
Yeah, I think Nick's going to want to get into knife fighting range and get out of that front arc of Dengar, maybe circle around with Asajj, make some quick slashing attacks with Fenn, because he does not want to dance out there where the torpedoes can hit him.
So the question is, do you leave Dengar for the end? Do you try to take Tel out? Tel, of course, has a pilot ability that makes him extra resilient. You're leaving, if you go that route, you're leaving the 3-dice primary turret on the board.
I think for that reason, Dengar is the primary target because you're going to be able to kill him faster than you can kill Tel.
But he's shooting you back.
He is. But you also, then you take out the bigger gun.
It's true. It's not an easy decision, and it's not, when you're facing something like this, you sometimes just don't have any good options, really. There's pros and cons to both of those approaches. I think you're probably right. You want to get rid of Dengar because then you actually have a chance at the end game.
You want to do it, though, without taking too many of those retaliatory attacks.
And when you don't have initiative and your only PS9 moves before Dengar does, that is very tough indeed.
Or to say, when you do have the initiative, you're forced to go first.
Yes. I assume that that Justin gave the initiative away.
Yeah, there's no reason I can think of to not. Now, we'll
see in a second here.
We will mention for you guys just joining us, this is the top 4 match between Nick Belle of Maryland and Justin Phua of Singapore. So on the other table, we still have Jerry Russell and Nan Torfs, the 2 Rebel lists facing off. So it's going to be a Rebel versus Scum final any way we slice it at this point.
This is true. I think Rebels and Scum have certainly been the strongest factions in this tournament. We had a decent Imperial showing early on, but they sort of fell away under the weight of Miranda's bombs and certain other anti-ace technology. Some of the FAQ revisions may have hit them hard enough that players did not want to bring things like defenders in the sort of force that they used to. So Imperial's at a little bit of a low ebb at the moment. And certainly...
Of course, Wave 11 is just on the horizon here,
just
bringing
around the corner.
New options for all three factions.
And we saw some nasty use of Kylo Ren. We saw some pretty interesting Imperial lists do pretty well in the first couple of days. We saw some TIE Strikers on the board doing quite well. Actually, I think the TIE Striker list went 5-2. So they're out and about, but they're just not quite making the top cut at the moment. So
indeed.
We will see who reigns supreme. Will the Rebels wrest back the championship after a year's hiatus, or will the Scum continue to dominate? Will Nand two-peat?
We've got a three-peat. Now, are we going to get another repeat world champion? I mean...
He's got the shorts for it.
The local Twin Cities X-Wing group was talking about preparation for store championships. Everybody go get your plaid shorts.
It's the source of his power. And grow that handlebar.
Now that's a legit strategy, considering how many Rebel pilots have had illustrious facial hair. You really can't go wrong if you're going to be flying with the Rebels.
That being said, Wedge doesn't have a mustache, and he's one of the few who survives.
That is a fair point.
Have a mustache, look sweet, explode. Don't have a mustache, live through all three movies. Worked for Luke, worked for Wedge.
I did see some interesting appearances of Wedge, too, on some of these lists earlier in the tournament. We really saw the T-65 and the T-70 scene play across the board.
Yeah, I'm happy to see it. I don't think anyone would have predicted that many X-Wings in the top four.
Yeah.
And if they weren't forced to take each other out due to the happenstance of pairings, we might have seen a Rebel on Rebel final.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think of the various Rebel list matchups against these two? Obviously, Nan has shown that he can take out Fenn Rau, so I think he's now done that twice in a row here in the top 16.
If I was either Rebel player, I would be rooting for Nick's list to win.
I agree.
That's the list they're teched for.
I agree.
That's what they expect to see. 2 PS9, monsters hucking torpedoes from all over the place. That's a tough list for anybody to face.
Yes.
So if I was playing the either Rebel build, I would be hoping to be up against what I'm used to seeing.
Yep.
What I came prepared to face, not a double JumpMaster build.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people thought that the days of double JumpMaster, died with Manaru's changes. And while the Manaru-Dengar combination is not nearly as potent as it used to be, they still have some tricks up their sleeves. They're a great toolbox of upgrades.
Who was there to step in. And Tel gets you that extra health that can be so very important.
Yep. Like you were saying, if you kill Dengar first, yeah, you need to now do extra damage to Tel to close it out.
Some facial hair commentary on the stream. A fan by the name of Derek Clivian is repping for Derek Hobby Clivian. Lived until retirement, has no facial hair, supporting my theory. Lando is a special case, I think. Has a mustache, survives. But other than that, I think it's a pretty sharp dividing line.
Looks like, again, no shooting, but now they're all headed into the merge here, other than Palob, who's just tooling off on his own. I think, Nick knows that Palob, while an awesome ship with his ability to steal focus and evade tokens, is not going to see nearly as much use this game just because Dengar doesn't need to focus ever.
No.
Neither of them will be evading.
Nope.
And, Tel just needs to target lock instead. And you're going to not see a lot of use of Palob's ability.
No, but it does mean that neither of these ships will have focus for the defense, and that does matter. Occasionally you'll probably see. Normally you would probably see Tel taking a focus action, maybe Dengar taking a focus action. As long as Palob is in that range 1 to 2 zone, they're going to be relying on unmodified double green dice, which, as we all know, are not super great when it comes to that race.
Triple green dice not doing the job there to keep Mishari's Fenn Rao alive. So
yeah, they'll let you down. You roll them enough times, they'll let you down. So I think even though you're probably not going to see Palob's ability proc this game, his mere presence is going to change some of the decision-making on Justin's side of the table. So it's good to have him around just as a defense suppressant, if nothing else.
Although in order to get that, to kind of really make that threat, he's going to need to be somewhere near the fight, which is a dangerous place for a Hawk.
Well, he's got a good loadout because he's either near the fight and he's using his ability, or
he's
threatening to use his ability,
the edge.
Or exactly, he's got the twin laser turret hucking dice from downtown and making it harder for them to hurt him. Now, the problem with that strategy is Justin's got a great counter to it in the form of torpedoes and high pilot skills. So I think it's going to be hard to keep Palob alive long enough to have a meaningful impact on this game. But it looks like Nick is doing his best to keep Palob on the very, very fringes of this fight, which is definitely a smart way to do things. He's going to want to come in later.
And if nothing else, he's acting as that focus factory through Attanni Mindlink to keep the other 2 ships free to do whatever action they need to do at the moment.
Exactly. And then when he does get threatened by those torpedoes, he should last. He might get taken out in a single round, but only if both of those JumpMasters get shots on him. And, this kind of level of play, it's not going to be easy to do that. It's going to be easier said than done.
I got to think that those JumpMasters are going to gun for a double torpedo shot on Ventress plus the double tap from Dengar this next round, because they're coming in here together. I don't know if there's a good way for Ventress to avoid that.
No, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think if I'm in Nick's shoes, I want to do a couple of things. I want to make sure that neither Fenn Rao nor Palob is taken out of the equation in this opening engagement.
Yes.
So you've got to keep them on the fringes. Asajj can take some hits. You don't really want her facing double torpedo round after round either. It's a hard list to fly against, especially since he's going to get to see everything that happens before he has to, decide whether to barrel roll or whatever he's going to do. The only thing that makes him a little less flexible is the necessity of acquiring those target locks. He can't barrel roll and get a target lock. There's
K4 security droids.
Oh, he can. You're right.
Yeah, on both.
So all he's got to do...
Just got to pick a green maneuver, load up. And I mean, right here, I don't see what Asajj does to not eat 2 torpedoes.
That is a really fast move for Asajj. I'm a little surprised.
He's going straight into the jaws of the beast here. I mean, he'll pitch out a stress and get one more evade through that, but Asajj is going to be hurting if she takes 2 torpedo shots.
Justin Phua is going for the jugular. I respect that. I don't know.
This is Nick.
Oh, right, you're right.
Yeah, Nick's going right in.
I keep looking at the wrong side of the board because they've swapped places.
And it didn't help that Justin was helping him by moving his Fenn Rao for him. It's another thing you see a lot in X-Wing at all levels is, hey, your ship's across the board from you. I'll move it for you. Just another example of the great sportsmanship of the X-Wing community as a whole.
Yeah, it's great to see that at the top level. We saw Mishari last round reminding his opponent of a missed opportunity, helping each other move ships. I mean, I think that the best players don't want to win or lose based on, something that they could have prevented. They want to win on their own merit. So you'll see a lot of that kind of gentlemanly behavior, which is really nice. It's nice to see.
Absolutely.
And this is a really great position for Fenn, actually. I like this. It's exactly where Fenn wants to be. Now, is that Dengar?
That's
Tel. That's perfect. But, of course, what we're seeing is that it's having that pilot skill advantage, having that initiative bid. He did not want to fight that many
He's going to now give Fenn a range 2 torpedo.
Right to the face.
No thrusters.
It's that initiative bid,
Is Dengar going to do the same? That's the question.
If Dengar gets a shot on Fenn, this could be a short game.
I mean, Dengar gets his target lock right now with K4.
Yep.
Barrel rolls, and he's got it.
Brutal. Just brutal.
Yep. Target lock.
Now, that's the initiative advantage just demonstrably right now.
Somebody in the chat asked, were there more jump masters in the top 16 than players? And I am happy to say there was not.
Not quite.
Although there were quite a few. But because of the changes to Manaroo, especially, we've seen, sometimes the Shadowcaster or other ships fill that role alongside. The Fang Fighter was also very strongly, the Protectorate Starfighter was very, very strongly featured.
Yeah, there are more Protectors. I would hazard a guess. I haven't seen the data, but I would hazard a guess that there are far more Protectorate Starfighters in the tournament as a whole than there were Jump Masters, although it's probably pretty close.
A lot of that's due to the list that's so popular with Terok, Fenn, and one Jump Master kind of helping out their average here. So I think Fenn's going to be in a tough position. Dengar getting a stress from Asajj's ability. Dengar's going to take a shot at both Fenn and Asajj, or maybe 2 shots on Fenn if
unless Asajj decides to go for
Tel. True.
Which is probably it's hard to say.
It's range maybe 3 and obstructed there. So this is that was a garbage roll.
That's going to take some edge off.
That's just the primary attack, looks like.
I missed the die roll. I'm not sure exactly what happened.
Was that
there.
primary attack on Asajj? 3 dice on 2 greens?
No, that was a torpedo. Spent the lock. I assume that was a torpedo. Not rolling in the...
I am not... Oh, never mind. That was Fenn shooting at the Jump Masters, which was a garbage roll.
Of course, not what you needed.
And now Fenn just... eating two crits.
Yeah, so not only did Fenn expose himself to those torpedoes, but he also,
Wow.
not a great opening.
Wow. Blinded pilot. So Fenn sitting at 1 hull remaining.
Yep, at least
still with another torpedo to eat.
At least he survived, because that's going to force him to spend another torpedo. That's something.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's a silver line. It's a shred of a silver lining is all that is. But here comes the second
silver lining
torpedo.
made of like tinfoil at this point.
It's an aluminum lining. It's not worth much. That
Just
second torpedo, a lot. Oh,
and more than enough though to close out
blank.
Fenn and delete him from existence.
Bad position and bad dice adds up to one very swiftly destroyed Fenn round. That was an aggressive opening with him, blasting 5 forward.
It was dangerous for both Asajj and Fenn, because Asajj could have also gotten wrecked by that.
Yeah.
And Justin had the option really to go for either one. He chose Fenn, and now he's got those 2 monster ships up against Asajj, and Palob is just hanging out
and
up
he's
in wild space
not getting
there.
any shots in with Palob. So
this is
out of
Asajj.
position. Put some damage
Get some
through.
damage in, but nothing compared to losing Fenn Rau there.
No, I mean, it was kind of inevitable, I think, that you were going to take some serious Alpha Strike damage, but I don't think it had to go down that quickly or that out of position. He could have he could have waited until all 3 of his ships were in firing range.
Yep.
And then at least gotten some TLTs off with the Hawk.
Yeah, and at least I gotta wonder if some more patience and some more maneuvering could have given you something better than just straight on directly into the teeth of Tel and Dengar.
I think Nick forgot about those barrel rolls or didn't understand how much damage he was facing. I think he's used to this fast, aggressive play style. It's probably served him well in previous rounds, but I think absolutely the wrong approach when you're fighting 2 pilot skill 9 ships and they've given you the initiative. That's exactly what Justin wanted Nick to do.
Yes, yeah, fly right down his throat.
Mm-hmm.
And then be devoured. Yeah, I think that Asajj, while she's a strong ship on her own, she's now just going to get harried by those 2 jump masters. And Palob he's what, 2 or 3 turns away from really playing a part in this?
Yeah, the Hawk is so slow. I don't understand the aggression there. That speed. Maybe he was trying to catch Justin flat-footed. The problem is that you can catch someone flat-footed when they don't have higher pilot skill than you. Because if they're moving after you, they have so much repositional power.
A little update from the other table. Captain Rex has gone down for Jerry, so it looks like Nand has gotten the first blood in the other top 4 game.
Interesting. Nand must have been able to isolate Rex and pick him off. That's going to be that's a good start.
Yep.
It's a good start for Nand for sure.
We will try and bring you whatever updates we can as they are brought to us. If you guys are waiting to hear what's happening on the other top 4 match, because one player on each table is going to be in our final here and help decide who is the next X-Wing World Champion and who gets to put their mark on the game. You know, like Doug Kinney, Paul Heaver, and Nand before them. Although Nand, I don't think we've seen what his winner's card is yet.
No, we are still working on that. So stay tuned. In 6 months to a year, that'll come out, and it should be interesting.
But that's a pretty cool prize and a rare privilege to get to play a role in the development of the game that you're so into like that.
Yeah, and it's from my end, it's a treat to get to work with the world finalists and see what ideas they bring to the table.
Sure.
They're always pretty interesting.
So I think here we've got Asajj needs to. Do we have any idea which way Asajj's arc is pointing?
I think it's pointed to the right.
To the right, that would be probably the best case because
is it pointed forward? I think
it's
pointed
forward.
It's
so
forward
he's going
for
to
that stress. So he'll need to clear and rotate.
Yeah,
it's not a good position.
So he gets the focus from the Mindlink there, so that's helpful.
That is helpful.
Oh,
ballsy move.
Going to go for a block here.
Yep, but he's not going to be able to rotate the arc.
Nope, he's not going to have a shot
anyways.
anyways.
He's going to get shots with the Hawks. So this is some desperation flying, I think, is what
so we're going to see the roll for the asteroid. Loses a shield, so just insult to injury here.
Yeah, not going great for Nick. But amazing run up to this point, undefeated.
Does he get by here? I don't think so.
I think if I'm Nick, I want him to clear if at all possible.
Oh, yeah. Why the heck not? You can afford to take damage, and that's also Tel, who's the harder one to kill right now.
For sure.
I will happily take that 3-dice attack in return for hitting you again. They're going to have to do the full-on market and reposition thing.
Mark it and move it.
I feel like they're marking on the wrong side of the ship.
Some X-Wing surgery going on. If you're a fan of the game, you're very familiar with this phenomenon. A lot of hands in play. Now they mark the front so they can see if it clears. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Which it doesn't look like it's going to.
I don't know.
The angle is off, I think. Yeah. Yep. It's going to be a bump. Do not want that bump.
Yeah, we keep going back and forth. Looks like Justin Phua's JumpMaster is going to get the bump there.
Yep, and that's good for Justin.
And that looks like maybe Dengar will do the same.
When you're up, a round with no shots is a good round for you. This looks like Dengar's actually going hawk hunting.
Wants to keep him honest and put the pressure on the Focus Factory back there.
Absolutely.
And I think you can afford to do that in this case.
He's also got the Punishing One title, so you can spray some shots at the Shadowcaster too.
Yep, and that's going to leave Asajj with no shot.
Yep, this is all going Justin's way, for sure.
Loses a shield as well to the asteroid.
Mm-hmm.
Price I am definitely willing to pay because he's going to get the shot on the Hawk.
And if the Hawk shoots him back, that's just more.
And he green. So that's going to be another torpedo.
Oh, yes.
With expertise, with guidance chips, that's going to hurt.
That's the beauty of this build. He can fly right over an asteroid and still get these shots off. Just nasty. It's going to be a tough list for either Rebel list to deal with, I think.
It is. Oof. 2
And
crits, 2
guidance
hits with
chips.
expertise.
3 defense dice for this Hawk.
He's got the focus, but that's only paint on 1 die, so
Crit's going to go through.
yeah, 2 crits are going to go through.
2 crits are going through, you're right.
That's direct hit and a major explosion
Oof.
into...
Oh,
my gosh, that's a dead Hawk.
brutal.
This is a surgical dissection of this list.
Absolutely. And, you know, honestly, Nick had an insane uphill battle going into this match. He was basically outbuilt.
Yeah,
You
he was
know?
not teched for this combination.
No. A strong list, but this list absolutely just designed to dissect these low hull point support ships right off the board. And now all Justin's got to do is dance around and dust this last remaining Shadowcaster. That was...
Yeah, now he's just got a war of attrition against Asajj that he should be able to easily win with 2 JumpMasters still on the table, and he still has a torpedo.
Yeah, there's even a torpedo locked
in the
and
mix.
loaded, so there's just no way that Nick comes out from this one.
From this angle, it's hard to tell, but Dengar might be able to just pull a hard 1. Yeah, he's got room to pull a hard 1 right here and just continue the fight with Asajj. And Asajj cannot pull that, play that bump game over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's a shame when you go, 11-0 and then you just run up against your silver bullet.
You run into a brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, silver bricks, but still hurts.
Fantasy Flight stream. Come for the X-Wing, stay for the mixed metaphors.
Oh, now it looks like Jerry has lost both Captain Rex and Biggs on the other table, so
Not
this is
looking
going to
great for
be
Jerry.
quick. Yeah, it looks like he makes that K-turn. He did bump his template a little bit, so I think he had more room than it looks like.
Still on the board.
That 5K, big turn, but now he's going to take some damage here from Tel.
Yep. Tel still has a torpedo
Tel,
locked and loaded.
It is going to target lock. And it'd be too close for a torpedo.
Still a 3-dice
with,
primary.
Yeah.
With the target lock. No Palob to steal focus, so you might as well focus. And that is
Hey, on the plus
exactly
side,
what he's going to do.
Your mobile arc is facing the right way.
That's true.
Got 1,700 people watching here to see who's going to go into this final match. Looks like it's going to be twin JumpMasters versus quite possibly non-Torfs.
Wouldn't that be a reversal of
Yeah.
fortune? Nond, of
What
course,
the heck?
won last year with double JumpMasters.
Playing against a Miranda list.
Uh-huh.
And if he's now playing Miranda, so here is Tel shooting.
Well, there's no Miranda in Nan's. Or there is,
Yeah.
there is
yeah.
Miranda, right?
There's
He's
the,
got
unusual build
Jess.
Miranda.
He's got Jess and Miranda
Yep,
and
and
Biggs.
Biggs.
It's Jerry who doesn't have Miranda.
Going to spend that focus. And Asajj is going to need to spend the stress to get one more evade. Still take a damage, though. And it's only going to get worse as Dengar rejoins this fight. And that is the Asajj shooting back. Only 2 hits, though.
Put some through.
Yep.
But now Tel can block. Dengar
Yes.
can come in.
Well, Tel can block and then move away and still shoot.
It's true. It's true.
It's even worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
Also interesting to see that, out of all those Mindlink lists, this non-Mindlink one is the top of the heap right now.
It's true for all the Mindlink we've seen. It's double jumps in the finals.
The JumpMaster, of course, being so popular because its expansive upgrade bar gives it a ton of flexibility to run whatever combination of upgrades you need. You can build it for, they call it the Bump Master, where you're getting in there blocking, getting in the way. You can run it as a torpedo boat. You can run it, with these loaded up Dengar builds that are north of 50 points. This is a 58-point Dengar that we are seeing here on the board.
And he is no joke.
I mean, right now, he has earned his cost back and more.
Well, we will see if Nan's experience with flying Dengar and double JumpMasters lends him any
Gotta think.
insight on how to deal with this list. But, you know, Justin's got some real advantages going into that fight. He doesn't have to shoot bigs with those plasma torpedoes.
Correct.
Which is a huge...
Try and delete Miranda early in the match.
It could happen. They're plasma torpedoes. They can ding shields off. They can get around Biggs' pilot ability.
Get clear there. Gonna have Justin hold the template down. Those are very dark and stealthy templates. I can barely see what that is.
Looks like it does clear. That's good news for Nick.
Action to swap your arc, or what's he doing here? He is going to go ahead and change it, looks like. Pointing it to the back. Going after Tel here.
Tel's going to be flipping around.
If you guys are wondering how Jerry and non-match is going, last we heard Biggs and Rex are dead for Jerry. So non has a nice advantage there. We don't know the status of everything else, but we'll give you updates as they come in. This is the top 4, the X-Wing World Championships for 2017. We've got Dengar and Tel Trevura here up against Asajj Ventress. Justin's going to go ahead and give him a last torpedo. He's gotten all 4 off here, and they have been horrendously effective.
Just devastating stuff.
I mean, also, let's talk about another thing that changed in X-Wing ordnance. You know, torpedoes never really were a thing, and now you're seeing them more and more.
Well,
so
especially
4 hits.
on a platform like this, it's just got all the advantages.
Spend the stress.
droids, high pilot skill, 2 torpedo slots so it can pack extra munitions.
Yeah, I think that guidance chips, extra munitions, you know, that's just a straight strong improvement to these bomber type ships that we had not had for a long time. This is Dengar's just primary. Spin the target like a reroll. He's got expertise, so 3 hits.
Expertise coming through. More damage. And it looks like Asajj is just not long for this world.
I cannot see exactly how much damage she's got, but I know it is well into her hull at this point.
Major hull breach.
Major hull.
Means all the damage coming through is going to be face up from now on.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. But that, of course, even if you lose Tel at this point, you have Dengar to seal the deal and crown you world champions.
Well,
so,
and Tel gets to reset after he dies.
True.
So he can clear all those crits out.
Yeah, after he dies with air quotes.
Mm-hmm. Just fake. He faked his death. It's his plan all along. A very complicated plan.
Dengar perfectly positioned to just go right up the tailpipe and fire again. Looks like 3 damage on Tel, so 4 hull remaining. That seems like a turn's work for 2 pilot skill 9 JumpMasters.
Yep.
With focus and target lock.
Yeah, I don't think the Shadowcaster is long for this world.
I think that Nick made a mistake just charging in there.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing, especially when you have an Alpha Strike list like this and at this level of competition, you make one bad call on your positioning and it can cost you the entire game very, very quickly.
Even if you ended up with the same result further down the line, kind of serving yourself up like that, I think is just... He did that too early. He had plenty of time to maneuver, try and look for a better opening.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had a really nice position with with Fenn, but of course, when you're forced to move before your opponent,
Indeed.
and they have a large ship barrel roll, they can get out of a lot of situations.
Or put you into a situation that you really didn't expect to be in, like eating 2 torpedoes.
Yeah, I think you could see the surprise in Nick's face when both of those ships were able to draw a bead on Fenn like that.
Yeah.
But kudos to Nick for keeping in it. I think he's going to try to see if he can bring Tel down before the end here. There's almost no way that he can go toe-to-toe with a fully loaded Dengar in the end game and survive. But he is not willing to concede. He wants to play this out. And, you know, 11-1 is not a bad record to end up with.
That's a better record than maybe even our winner
It's possible.
Eventually. Nand went 8-1 going into Swiss. Justin went 7-1 or 7-2. 7-2.
I am wondering what lists took him down and if they are, if there's anything like that still in the tournament. The one thing on Nan's side is he does have a lot of offense. He can bring a lot of boom to the table.
He does. If he can get it all concentrated on, say Dengar right away, he can get that missile off from Miranda, although that means Miranda has to be around to fire that, although one-turn kill, even with those JumpMasters, is not very likely.
Not likely, but possible.
The homing missile and 2 X-Wings, that can do a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think is Miranda packing a Homer or a Plasma on Nan's
sorry,
list?
yes. Plasma Torpedo.
And Plasma's great against a JumpMaster because it'll help strip those shields faster. But it's going to be a tough fight. Dengar has all the luxury of time in the world.
Yeah, I mean, reminder, Dengar has not been scratched yet.
No. Oh, he has. He went over that asteroid. Self-inflicted. He lost a shield.
Now, interesting. Why do you think Tel went this way?
I'm not sure.
I mean, you think he's actually worried about losing Tel?
Maybe he's just playing for prestige at this point, you know? Why lose a ship if you don't have to? Crazy things happen in this game. Don't get shot if you don't have to. Is a pretty good lesson.
Flip the card on Tel Trevura. So no more major hull breach.
Yeah, I mean, why not be careful?
Not bad.
There's no sense in letting yourself get shot if you don't have to.
Oh, and I realized why he went that way. Asajj didn't change her arc.
Exactly.
So she's got no shot.
Exactly.
She's taking unanswered fire here.
Yep.
And Expertise makes that 3 hits.
Expertise, a very strong EPT. 2 more go through. And it looks like we are sitting at 5.
Looks like 2 hull left, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Spend the target lock.
Pew pew.
Dodge or die. She gets it, but did not make any progress of her own this time. So I think we're going to see Asajj go down next turn unless she just runs, which there's really no reason. The Arc 170 in Jerry's list, or Jerry and Nod's match, Jerry is now down Captain Rex, Biggs, and Braylon Stram, whereas Nod has lost Biggs, so that's looking very bad for Jerry right now. It's
that's
looking
Miranda
like we'll see
and Jess
Nod
versus Jess.
Yeah, we'll see Nod here in the top match again. An international match featuring Justin Phua of Singapore and Non-Torps of Belgium.
Truly a world championship final. And it's going to be kind of ironic for Nan to go up against Double JumpMaster.
His own creation turned against him.
If he'll appreciate the irony or...
I think how much he appreciates it very much depends on how many plasma torpedoes he takes.
This is true. It'll be an interesting game.
We're about halfway into the time for this match.
Plenty of time.
Looks like just continuing to bug out. Checking on the debris, it looks like. Just another focus. Think Tel can get a shot this turn? No engine upgrade, so
No,
can't really get any closer.
He's got all the time in the world.
Nope.
Dengar will get a shot.
Yep, and that's probably all he needs.
And then he'll get another shot.
Oh, yes. We really have not seen Dengar's ability used, I don't think, yet this game.
Not yet. He hasn't shot Dengar yet.
But we're going to get some mileage out of expertise this round when Asajj attacks.
Mm-hmm. Focus, target lock, expertise. Pretty rough.
So Dengar, range 3 on Asajj.
Coming in.
This could be our final roll. That's 3 hits.
Just needs 2.
Asajj needs to have paint on both dice.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on here? No, oh, he's looking for some kind of token. Oh, laser.
Laser.
Checking for, see if it's obstructed. Looks like it is indeed.
Doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh, is that all blanks?
And that is the game.
Not all blanks, but too many.
Too many blanks.
Justin Phua of Singapore advances to the final against either Jerry Russell or non-Torfs, but it's going to take some very fancy flying on Jess Pava's part for Jerry to and show up at the final table here.
Yeah, well, it should be an interesting matchup. I think that is a really, really nasty Alpha Strike list.
It is.
But Nand obviously has the experience, has the...
He's almost uniquely qualified to face this list in the finals here at Worlds.
Yeah, and if he loses to it, well, he's only got himself to blame for popularizing that pairing. But it should be an excellent final round. We'll see what happens.
Yep. I think we're going to take a little break here. We'll introduce you to our finalists and then get right into our final match of the entire 2017 Star Wars World Championships, closing out 5 days of competition here in Roseville, Minnesota at the Fantasy Flight Game Center.
Stay tuned.